Hello, my name is Ashley Williamson, and this is my persuasive speech on why I think people need to start believing in therapy. And I will tell you why it is the best option when recovering from trauma and other mental disorders. Mental illness is a topic of discussion amongst a lot of people as it affects everyone differently. Over 44 million people have been diagnosed with some form of mental disorder and are getting treated for such, but many people go undiagnosed. Why is that? Some researchers would say it has to do with the stigma that comes with being mentally ill. No one wants to be the oddball, no one wants to be crazy. People question the effectiveness of therapy because sometimes you just don't connect with the therapist and you don't agree with what they're doing. Others don't like the idea of having to pay someone to listen to them talk. They're like, oh, well, I could just, talk the ear off to somebody else and I'll be totally fine, But, I mean, sometimes you just really need somebody who's going to listen to you. However, people need to understand that mental illness does not just disappear over time, and it's not just as simple as just talking to someone. Sometimes there's a chemical imbalance. Sometimes there's trauma that's triggered. Sometimes there's things that are triggered because of trauma. It can be a constant struggle for those who are affected, and it can be a lifetime of struggle. So what I want to focus on in this conversation is that I want my audience I want y'all to understand that it is therapy is the key to mental well-being. It's because it prepares you for problems in the future, and it teaches you how to stay calm during conflict, and it can help you change the way that you look at yourself and look at others. So my main points that I'm going to be talking about is how it prepares you for future problems, how it teaches you to stay calm in conflict, and how it can change the way that you look at yourself and look at others. So it prepares you for problems in the future. Therapists help provide you with coping mechanisms you may not even be aware of. Sometimes you do just need to count your breaths. Sometimes you do just need to look for that happy place and to take a deep breath and know that and help you to understand that sometimes things are just out of your control and there's nothing that you can do to really alleviate the situation, which is totally fine. And it reinforces what you already know from it helps you reinforce what you already know from previous experience, which adds to your reassurance. Like, you've already gone through this, you've already done it, so you can do it again. If you've survived the last time, you will survive again. And so it also teaches you how it teaches you to be calm during conflict. Therapists can help you understand that it could be the situation that's causing the conflict with another person, especially in like one-on-one conflicts or one person against a group. Sometimes it's just the fact that you guys are just in a bad situation. It also teaches that it's just another, it's just a rough patch and you'll get through it. You got through a previous rough patch, you'll get through another one. And also a great way that I think therapists really help with anger and help with what comes with irritability and stuff like that is teaching you those breathing techniques, like alternate nostril breathing, which if you breathe in your left, I believe you breathe in your left nose, it helps with, or left side of your nose, it helps with sleep and stuff like that. And then breathing into the right side of your nose, it helps you with calm, or with calming down and, relieving that stress a little bit. So that's a great way to help deal with conflict. And it can help change the way that you look at yourself and look at others, because sometimes what we do is we project our personal experiences and our personal bias onto other people. So therapists can help to kind of bring you back a little bit and look inward and see that maybe it's not them, it's you. And it's you, and that's okay, and that you can get through it, or in that you can agree with this person, because really it's just something that you're not dealing with yourself. So once you start dealing with that, it can help change the way that you look at other people. And then it also helps with teaching you about your warning signs when you're getting overwhelmed or frustrated. I know for me that what starts to happen for me is that I start to get really confused. Like, people will try to talk to me, and I'll like look at them with this look, and they're like, okay, we're not like attacking you. Like, apparently I look like a deer in headlights, because everything just, words start jumbling, and I can't think straight, and it's just what happens in my brain sometimes. And so when I start feeling that way, my breathing starts to become short, I stop, I breathe, I try to think through it a little bit and try to figure out what I need help with in order for people to be able to help me, and not for me to just snap on someone, you know? And so it also teaches you that you don't have to care what other people think. Like, I think that's a really big problem when it comes to therapy, is that people care too much of what people will think if you start going to therapy. And I think that's a huge problem, because it's like, why does it matter what they think? Because in reality, you're doing this for you. You're not doing this for anybody else but yourself. This is for your well-being. This is for you to get through the trauma. It's for you to get through these things. Like, why does it matter what other people think? And I mean, some people can be very boisterous. They can be like, well, why, you know, like, you have this great life. Like, why would you be depressed? Or you have, you know, like, you're in a totally calm situation. Why are you freaking out? Like, sometimes you just need that one person who's going to understand why you need that help. And so that's why I think therapy is a wonderful way for people to find help, is because it helps you to know what to expect when conflict arrives. It helps you know what to expect when problems arrive, and it helps you know how to react to conflict, and it helps you to not look at other people in such a negative light, because maybe sometimes it is their situation. Like, sometimes you're going through a rough patch, they're going through a rough patch, therefore both of you are butting heads, because you're both feeling like the other is being, you both feel like the other is being, you know, not trusting, or the other is not being open enough, or, you know, those things. And so that's why I think therapy really does help, is it helps you be able to take off your biased goggles and look from a third perspective and be like, okay, yeah, I see how this could really affect the way that I look at people, or this could really, how I'm acting really does affect this person. So thank you so much for listening.